I've been sketching out my colonial American government building, and I think I like where it's going, but it's a little bit not in the right place. I think I need to move essentially these three that I started with over onto the other side. And then I think that will line it up better in terms of terrain and give me more space to work with, because I'm not sure yet how deep it's going to be. I feel like it's going to have to be... The building itself might just end up being a square. The suggestion for this build was the plantation from Gone with the Wind, which I've honestly never seen. And I looked it up. It's not quite... I'm not using that building exactly for reference, but I'm using one that's very similar. So I've actually been using the building from the Ghost at Thornton Hall, which is a Nancy Drew computer game released by Her Interactive. And it's, in my opinion, one of the scarier ones. I really like it. It's probably up there in terms of my favorite Her Interactive Nancy Drew games. But it is a very similar building in terms of, obviously, era and style, but also purpose, because both that and the plantation in Gone with the Wind are, homes. They're not government buildings. I think as I build up the infrastructure around this, it'll come to make sense. So I guess I'm going to work on moving and adjusting this. And I'll probably build up the front so that I get a solid idea of what it's going to look like before I start working on the other sides. And the back, well, the back at least will be a mirror of the front. The question of, do I make it a slight rectangle or do I make it a perfect square? I'm not sure how. But I'm pretty sure I just centered those perfectly on the first try. Because this corner, quartz corner, to here, which is the first column, is 19 blocks. And from this column to this quartz corner is 19 blocks. These are each 3, and in between them is each 4. I did center them. I am shocked by myself. While I've been working on this, I was considering whether this is even really where I wanted it, or if I wanted to push it back a couple blocks. But I think I've decided that even though this is very definitively going to be the front of the house, I like that it's on the cliffs, and so I can build entrances onto the porch over onto these sides. So I can make it make sense in terms of like traffic flow even, while still having this be the main entrance, looking out over the ocean, the ice over there. I'm liking it, and I'm also realizing that this is another one that is going to take me a long time. Let's see if I can at least get this front put together tonight. This ultimately took 3.5 hours just to get this front face put together. But honestly, now that I have it together, I feel like the rest of it will go smoother because I essentially just have to duplicate it all the way around. I don't know whether I'll duplicate these on all 4 sides or if they'll just be front and back. And there's a possibility I'll make these 2 sides just a little bit shorter. I'm still considering that. But overall, I think I got a pretty solid start here. Day 2 of working on this, and I just logged in. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I still feel like something's a little bit off with the roof. I think tonight, I want to work on kind of a weird concept, I guess. So at the moment, that's just a facade, right? I have a couple little bits, some roof and stuff for the back, but no actual like building here. It's all just the front. And I'm thinking what I kind of want to do is I want to work on mapping out the building itself before I keep building it. And at least get an idea of the layout for this bottom floor, what all I'm putting into it, what rooms I need, etc., so that I can make sure that I can do what I need to do within the space that I end up building this building into. My first thought is that the downstairs is like the governmental space, and then upstairs is some form of housing for the people in said government. I haven't decided what governmental structure we have here, but I guess it would make sense. I think, considering how small this area is, that whatever civilization this government building was for did not have a whole lot of space. So it would make sense for governmental officials to live and work in this one structure. So I think downstairs for legislative rooms, courthouses, some offices maybe, and then break the upstairs into bedrooms. Whether those are individual bedrooms or like dorm style bedrooms will depend on what governmental structure I decide to put in this building, whether it is a small group of government officials or whether it's a large group of government officials. Considering I just forgot to hit resume recording on the replay mod while I finished the floor over there is probably a sign that I should go to bed. I had to work late tonight, so like midnight. I did get at least part of the flooring in today. I decided to map out with these like white lines where the interior walls will be because I need to decide where the level splits are. I'm thinking this is like an office, and then this will probably be a courtroom or like a parliamentary Senate chambers kind of room. Yeah. Some kind of Senate chambers would make sense in there. I don't know what I'm doing over here yet. And apparently I have a thing for just like massive buildings because I didn't realize how big I was making this. It's 59 blocks on each side. Like the width of this, the length of each of these white lines is 59 blocks. I am insane, and I'm going to bed for them. I feel like I sound so emotionally defeated tonight. And I don't intend it that way. There's been a lot going on with work because I have multiple deadlines coming up soon. And I was behind on like all of it. But I've been working on the inside of this build. And I have this to be... Oh, I didn't close that. Almost like a Senate or parliamentary chambers. Over here, this is a courtroom. And this is a courtroom. And then... Door here? Yeah, door there makes sense. These are like private offices, essentially. And this is gonna open into this hallway. That's the back entrance over to the chambers. And back here... Yeah, I need to put a door here too. The staircase up to the second floor. It's gonna be like a living space. But this is really big, so it's probably gonna be like a communal living space. I do think that this is another one that once it's done, I'm gonna be really happy and proud with it. Right now, I'm really tired of looking at it, but we're gonna keep going. Floor video posted today, and I was finishing the edit on this when I realized I never recorded an outro. There's really two thoughts that I have about this build and story. One is that I was really struggling to write the lore, and that's kind of the point of this project, to challenge myself in different ways. But when I realized the modern housing build from last episode was only like about 100 blocks away in a more or less straight line, it felt like an opportunity to connect the two stories, and I think that helped a lot. Too, my favorite thing about this build is the roof. I think the rest could be better, but I love the roof. It was a pain in the ass to do, but I love it. It gives me more Industrial Revolution era vibes than American colonialism. And that might be due to the material used, because this is a deep slate tile that makes up the majority of it. But I actually looked it up, and the two eras overlap by about 25 years. So it isn't totally off base. I think this is one of those things that I want to put in my builder toolbox. It feels like something I might pull out for my Skyblock series. I think I could make something like this work for Space Pirates. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe for more builds and stories. I've got a couple bigger projects I'm starting, and I'm really excited for those. They're a lot, so I'm not setting a specific upload schedule for them, just as I get them done. I should hopefully have the first one ready to go in the next week or two. So stick around for that, and I will see you next time. Bye.